my name's Molly and welcome back to Molly Knits. This is a YouTube channel where I talk about knitting and yarn related content. In today's video, we are going to be doing the very first podcast in my podcast series. This is going to be talking about whips, what I'm up to this week, just like general aspects of my life, deliveries that I've received, YouTube videos that I've been watching, people that I've been following, and all that kind of yarny goodness. So I'm really excited to talk you through that today. I suppose the first part of the video that I wanted to go and talk about was what I'm up to at the moment. So I work from home mainly. I'm in HR consultancy, so I work for a business that's out of Sydney, even though I live in Melbourne. So I'm doing remote work all the time. So I just sit at home and work. I don't have an office. I don't go anywhere during the day. So I find that knitting really helps me get through the day. I watch a lot of YouTube tutorials and videos, and I just finished catching up on all of the Vlogmas from Nitty Natty and the Crazy Sock Lady. So I really love watching them, and I really enjoy watching people in other countries doing YouTube videos as well, because it's interesting to see the weather and kind of like what they do at this time of year. Like, for example, Nitty Natty is in New York and Crazy Sock Lady's in the US as well. So it's really, really cold there and it's snowing, so they're knitting jumpers and they're talking about Winter Wonderland, and I'm in Australia where it's hot and you don't want to knit a jumper in the middle of December. So it's very different to what I'm used to, which is why it gives it kind of like a bit of fresh air on the situation, which is really good. So in regards to that, I'm trying to use a microphone, but my microphone is not very good. It's not very close to my face. So it's probably a bit, it's not very loud. So I'm just trying to fix that. Anyway, so the first thing that I wanted to talk about in my video today, besides like what I've been doing and all that stuff, was some of my current whips. So I have 4 current whips on the needles at the moment. 5 if you count a couple of the dishcloths that I made my mum the other day, which I finished. I don't have to worry about that. But I'll just go through them because one of them is really special. So we'll leave that one to last. But the first whips I've got in this project bag, which I talked about in my previous Christmas haul video. So this is really really cool bag that I've got from a girl in Sydney. Her name's Hayley Says So, and she knitted this. She sewed this for me. So the first one that I've got on my list to show you is my Hedgehog Fibers Orion socks. So Hedgehog Fibers, the colorway is Orion. It's this gorgeous blue, I don't know, there we go, it's focusing. It's this gorgeous blue, like marl color, like the rainbow, kind of throughout. So what I'm doing is I'm knitting these on the Chiagu 2.25 circular 9-inch needles, which I absolutely love to knit socks on 9-inch needles. I can tend to do the flap of the sock on the 9-inch needles. I just keep it on one side of the cord and then just knit back and forth, purl back and forth, so I can do that really easily. But when it does come to the toe, I do tend to take my socks off the 9-inch needles and then put them on the 2.25 needles in the Chiagu 4-inch knitting needles, and then I use the magic loop method to complete the toe, so it's just like a little bit easier and that I don't ruin the cords. Like, I have done toes on 9-inch, believe it or not. I have actually finished socks on 9-inch circulars from the heel to the toe with the gazette and the flap and everything I have done on the 9-inch, because I did not have the 4-inch magic loop to be able to finish it. But now that I have that, it is so much easier, and I just swap my yarn off these needles, and then I just put my project onto the circulars, and then I use the magic loop, which is what I'm doing my next whip on. So my next whip is also, you saw in my previous video, I spoke about how I'd finished the first sock in my shorty sock series. So this sock is the vanilla sock from the Crazy Sock Lady. So I just used a vanilla sock pattern on the 9-inch circulars, and then I did the toe on the magic loop, but I decided to continue to do the second sock in the whip on the magic loop method, because sometimes I like to have two different types of methods. Sometimes I like to do 9-inch, sometimes I like to do DPNs, and sometimes I like to do magic loop. Depending on how I feel that day, I just choose whichever sock that I feel like knitting, and I just use that method. Like sometimes I really can't be bothered doing magic loop because I have to turn every single time, so I just do 9-inch. Or sometimes I'm looking for something a bit more challenging, a bit more different, a bit more like stimulating, so I choose the magic loop. So that yarn that you are looking at here, this is the West Yorkshire Spinners 4-ply signature in the colorway Pink Flamingo. So that is absolutely gorgeous. This is, for me, I have a size 9 ladies foot. So for this, I'm using 60 stitches. I did a 1.5-inch knit to purl to cuff. And then just obviously the rest of the sock is just your standard vanilla sock pattern, which I really love. I forgot to show you before. I was showing you this Orion sock that I'm doing this whip at the moment. I got a heap of sock minis in my advent calendar, which I will show you in a minute. And I've actually chosen this Summer Nights Green colorway in this gorgeous, it's obviously, there you go, in this gorgeous mint green color, which I think is going to pair absolutely perfectly for the heel and the toe of this new set of Hedgehog fibers on my 9 inches. So that's the color that I'm using, which I think looks so cool. And I wasn't planning on doing a heel toe combination for this sock until I found this color in my 24-day advent calendar, and I thought that is gorgeous. And the reason why this is so round is because I hand wind my 20-gram mini skeins. I don't use my Swift. I think it's too annoying to get my Swift and my ball winder out for 20 minutes. So I just put it on the bed and then I just hand wind it, and so it actually doesn't turn into like a cake really as much as it turns into like a perfectly round ball that you would see on like a cartoon that a cat would try to get to. My dogs try to get this. They try to run after it. They love it. It's so cute. So that is my first 2 sock whips. And I keep them all in this like one bag, so they're nice and neat. My second whips are in this bucket bag that I have, this gorgeous bucket bag from Yarn Creative. She's in Queensland. So I've got this 2 whips. The first whip that I have in this bag is actually just a triangular shawl in it's just a triangular shawl, like a simple triangular shawl from this Outlander Knitting. It's actually the shawl that she's wearing in the front page of this book. So the shawl that she's wearing the front page of this book is the exact shawl that I'm knitting. I've just chosen different colors. So with these books, obviously they're in the US and they're in Canada. So sometimes so she's got the shawl there in a different color as well. Sometimes when you go to choose the colors, you don't have that supplier in Australia, so you can't buy that yarn unless you go and outsource it from the US and spend heaps of money to get it shipped here, which I do not do. So I went and found a similar yarn from a company called the Bendigo Woolen Mills. Bendigo is about 2-hour drive from my house, so it's not that far at all, and they'll ship it to your house, and it's amazing. So this is what I've done of the shawl so far. This is their Midnight Heather. The color is Midnight Heather, and so this is what the main color of the yarn will be. This is what the main color of the shawl will be, and they come in these absolutely ginormous 200-gram balls of yarn. This is the 12-ply, which is the equivalent they call it 12 ply, but it's probably more of like a 8 or a 10 ply. Always have to go down. And I'm using the same needles to get the same gauge that the pattern says to use 5mm needles, and I'm using 5mm, and it looks so much like the one from Outlander. I'm so excited. So I also got a dark grey and a light grey for the trimmings as well. So the main colour will be this mid grey, and then I'll have a dark grey and I'll have a light grey for the trimmings. So just like in the book where she's got dark grey in the middle and then a green. So she's got dark grey so she's got light grey and then dark grey and a green stripe. I'll have light grey, dark grey, and like a grey marl, like what I'm wearing now, as the stripe for the bottom, which I think will look really nice. And so I've been working on that for a bit, but then I got sidetracked. And I will tell you why. Because I am getting married this year. So I'm getting married in March. I've been with my partner for 8.5 years. We are getting married, and I wanted to knit myself a shawl to wear on my wedding day. My bridesmaids are wearing navy, and the groomsmen are wearing navy, and everybody else is wearing navy blue. And I didn't want to feel left out, so I thought I would knit myself a gorgeous mohair shawl in navy. I managed to start my shawl. It's 135 centimeters long. It'll just be a square shawl, just to go around my shoulders. This is what it looks like so far. So this is Swish Yarns, which is another Australian company. This is their 70% mohair, 30% silk, in their colour dark navy or dark blue. I'm not quite sure what the colour is, but I've started knitting this. I'm just doing a garter stitch pattern. It's absolutely gorgeous. Like, it is the softest thing I have ever felt, and this is the rest of the ball. As you can see, it's quite long. I'm using like 125 centimeter cord needles on this. So I literally, on the day, I just wanted to have it around like this. So I probably want the width to be about 40 centimeters. At the moment, it's about 10. It's about 10 centimeters. So it needs to be 4 times the width, and the length will be fine. But yeah, this is what I've currently been working on majority of the time, because I want to have this done by March. So like the cutoff date for this will be the end of February. So I've got about 2 more months to finish it, which it shouldn't take that long really. Mohair is extremely easy to knit up. It's really quick because obviously it doesn't have to go to a certain gauge. I think the gauge is, I've done a really good job with the gauge anyway. I'm using 8mm needles. Like, I never use anything above a 5.5. So when I went to go use 8mm needles, I was like, oh my gosh, this is going to be really holy. It's not. It looks gorgeous. Like, it's actually really, really exactly the pattern that I wanted it to be. Like the photos that I've seen on, you know, Facebook and YouTube, and when I Google mohair shawl, like that is what comes up. And so it's exactly what I want. I need it to be a bit wider in width, but I'm hoping I can get this done sooner rather than later, because that will make me feel so much less stressed before the wedding. The only thing I'm worried about is if I get it done and then it looks bad with my wedding dress. That would be really sad, because I would have spent all this time, and you know, the balls of yarn aren't cheap for mohair. These balls of yarn specifically, I'll need 2 balls of 25 grams of yarn, and they cost $20 a ball, so it's $40, which is not cheap for yarn really. Actually that's pretty cheap, but for 25 grams not really. So that would be like $80 for 100 grams, which is way expensive. Whereas I would normally not spend more than $30 on 100 grams of yarn. So it'll be interesting to see like how it looks with my wedding dress when I'm finished. But we'll see. We'll see. So the next part of my video I wanted to show you was all of my minis. So these are the mini. I have no idea what to do with them. So if you have any ideas on what to do with mini sock yarn from an advent calendar, please put a comment in below. Send me to Ravelry. Put me down a rabbit hole on all of these creations that I can do. Scrappy socks is like the only thing that comes to mind. Maybe like a scrappy blanket, I don't know. But I've got so many of these sock yarns. Like, this is insane. There's about, I think there's like 30 of them in here that I've obviously got from my advent calendars and then collected throughout the year, but like, amazing. And they're so many different colors that I'm like literally struggling to find something to make. Obviously I have a lot of like the same color, so for example, if I was looking to make a pair of blue socks in different colors, like there's all the blue ones, I could easily do that, no worries. But yeah, I thought I would do like a shout out on YouTube and be like, hey guys, please let me know what you do with your scrappy socks. I want to get some projects going with my minis, whatever you want to do with your scrappy socks. Obviously, I looked on Ravelry. The crazy sock lady had a scrappy sock pattern. Summerlee Knit in her sock patterns had a scrappy sock pattern as well, which is good and interesting. But I wanted to see if there was anything else that people were like looking at that they thought would be good. Because I actually do have one other thing that came in the mail this week, and that is this book, which is why I wanted to bring this out. Because this book is the 52 Weeks of Sock book by Liane magazine. So this is so cool. I have spent all week reviewing this, reading through it. I love it. There's no patterns in here to use these socks though, to use these sock yarn. So it will be really, really interesting to see what I can make from this book with this yarn, because that would be so cool. If I could utilize this instead of going out and buying much more yarn, and my boyfriend would not be happy with that. He would be like, Molly, stop buying yarn. Anyway, so this has been awesome. I have done the Lazy Daisy socks in this book. That's what I did for my mum, and I finished them last week. So I've attempted one pattern from the 52 Weeks of Sock book, but this is so gorgeous. Like, I'm not going to show you any of the patterns because obviously copyright, but some of the photos in this are insane. Like, just going through it and just reading all the patterns and reviewing the photography within the book is like worth having on your coffee table. Some of the other aforementionable patterns in here that I've seen was the Caprins. The Caprins pattern has the it has a skein of yarn by Rosa Pomor, which is 100% wool, and then you use a dog slicker brush, which I've never seen before, to make the inside of the socks really fluffy, which I think is really quite a cool idea. And then the other one that I've mentioned before was the Lazy Daisy, which I have done, and then I want to start on some colourwork socks, so I really want to attempt this mica pattern as well. With the colourwork socks, because I think that would be a really cool one to do some colourwork on at the top. I probably wouldn't do the same colourways as this. I'd probably use more of like a light base, and then probably use one of my sock minis as the colourwork in the top of the sock. But that's a really good one. I've seen people comment on Ravelry about how much they love that. And then in the theme of going and watching my favourite Netflix show at the moment, which is The Witcher, they've got this amazing pair of elf slippers. And so the elf slippers are another colourwork pattern, but look at how intricate the designs are. Like, that is gorgeous, and it literally just reminds me so much of The Witcher, and I'm really keen to just like start whipping up a pair of these slippers while I watch the end of season 2, because they really do remind me of that show, and that would be really cool. And then, last but not least, I have 2 more books to show you. I am so excited. So, I have ordered, one moment. I got the Harry Potter Knitting Magic book about like a year ago, and I started knitting a Weasley sweater from the Harry Potter Knitting Magic book. And I love this book. Like, I love Harry Potter. I love this book, and the patterns have been amazing. I mean, I've done dishcloths, I've done the scarf, I've done the Ginny's jumper, I've done Harry Potter jumper, I've done, you know, like so many of these patterns in here I just think are absolutely gorgeous. I have so many of these. These little glass covers. Anyway, so I got this book, thought it was amazing, and then I heard that they were bringing out the second one. I ordered it in like the start of November, and it arrived yesterday. So this is Harry Potter Knitting Magic New Patterns from Hogwarts and Beyond. So this is the second one in that series. This, I got so excited yesterday. I walked home from the post office and I came inside and I ripped it open and I started reading it straight away, and I love it. It is so cute. And also, it doesn't just have Harry Potter in there, it has Fantastic Beasts in there too. So it's also got Newt Scamander scarf from the first Fantastic Beasts movie, which I want to make. I want to make that scarf. I just want to go and buy all the yarn everywhere. I want to buy all the yarn. I want to make all the items. I'm very excited. Anyway, so Newt Scamander's scarf. I don't even know where I'm going to buy this yarn. Do I? Look, I don't even need to. There's a picture of it here. Newt Scamander's scarf. So that's a pattern in there as well. As you can see, they've put some more pictures from the first movie in there to show you where he has the scarf from. But what I also like is that in these books, they do like little behind the scenes magic. They will talk about, in Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince, Ron Weasley and Cormac McLaggen compete to be the new Gryffindor trainer. This is about making the Harry Potter Gryffindor Quidditch jump cut. Falling that on the ground. And they were saying that Cormac in real life, Rupert Grint, and the actor Freddie Stormer are actually very similar in size. And to make McCormack seem bigger and taller, they had to add padding and extra panels and shoulder guards to give him a larger silhouette to make him look scarier to Ron. Like, I would never have known that. But I read the book, and now I do, which I think is so cool. And they have so many of those, like, cool little behind the magic. Look, there's another one there talking about the Diagon Alley set, and then there's pictures from the movies, and there's information from the books, and then they've just got so many other things as well. The whole section on like inspired apparel, like Medora's map socks, and like this is a Hogwarts castle cow, and they've got so many other different patterns within this book, and I 100% would just like go and check it out and like buy it. If you are a Harry Potter fan, these two books are honestly like my life. And you know, I find it really funny because, you know, in Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix, Dumbledore's like, oh, can I take this magazine? I really like knitting patterns. So, you know, buy these books. I love them. They're gorgeous. I think I paid, so UK $22.95 for retail, so that's about $40 Australian. I got it way cheaper than that. I bought it on Amazon for $26.99, and I bought the first one from Target for $20. Extreme amounts of money that they're making for these books. Like, you can 100% get them at a good price. What I would recommend though is have a look around first. Like, try and get a good deal, especially on the first one. Like, it's been out for a couple years now, so I think you can get a good deal on that. Other than that, like, I've literally just been sitting at home and knitting when I can, obviously trying to get my wedding shawl done, working, and I actually have another delivery from Nitpicks coming in tomorrow, so I'm going to upload a video next week with the Nitpicks haul, and you'll be able to see all of the yarns that I got from Nitpicks, and we'll be able to talk through all the different colours. I'm going to be knitting a pair of socks for my boyfriend to wear on the wedding day as well, in like a navy colour, so we'll be able to show you those. I'm really excited for that to arrive. And I've also got another few yarns coming from my yarn shop that I've been buying from in South Australia called Yarn Trader, and they're going to be sending me some more West Yorkshire Spinners yarn, so we'll be able to go ahead and make sure that that's all we'll probably do that in the same unboxing as the others. I got a new 500ml bottle of Eucalyptus as well, the wool wash for my knitted items. And that's about it, I suppose. I don't really have anything else going on at the moment in the wider knitting world. I'm going to be signing up for Knitty Natty's membership as well, so I'm really excited to do that. She has like Zoom lessons, and she does like monthly Zoom chats. I think they're weekly actually, where you can sit on and talk to other like-minded knitters. I'm really excited to be a part of that. I don't really know anybody else that knits near me, and every time I go to the shop, it's like older people, like no one my age. So I'll be really excited to join into a community where there's other people like not exactly my age, but like around my age, maybe like on the younger side. So I'll be really excited to join that as well. You can follow me on Instagram now as well. I'm Molly J Knits on Instagram, so you can go ahead and like any of the posts I put up would be appreciated. I'm just trying to, get content out there for people who are like me and don't really have a lot of knitting friends and just want to like meet new people and talk about their daily lives without annoying their family members. So you can do that. If you really enjoyed this video, you can give me a thumbs up and subscribe below. I'd really appreciate it. And if you have